Copper Canyon, fourth period, Mr. Heighton's Algebra 2 class. Take 2.
The Wi-Fi isn't working, guys. I cannot do anything on the passing.
So I submitted your, I was in a hurry yesterday, like for you. I submitted your grade without updating it, then I went back and updated it, and I resubmitted it. I'm not exactly sure. So well, it's updated now. I'm talking about your progress report because, but it's updated, so you can put it in that. But it's updated.
The way, you know, the way what I use to get into the street network, you know how it locks up on the street network?
All right, everybody listen up for a second. Yesterday, I gave you ACT practice problems. Hopefully those went all right. When you were done, you were supposed to work on the hypothesis testing section a little bit in Edgenuity. Today, we're going to start your review. The test is going to be on Tuesday. So, we're going to review today. Tomorrow will be your normal work day on assignments that you need to get done for this week and finish your review. Monday will be a review activity, Tuesday test. What I gave you, the formula sheet. Yeah. This is what I will give you again on Tuesday for your test, or you can just use the same one if you don't lose it. The only thing I forgot to put on here are the percentages under the normal curve. So I would write those in, the red percentages over here, write those on your curve. I'll try and put those in and recopy it for Tuesday. But those are the only things that are not on there. Everything that's on the whiteboard's on there, except for definitions. I'm not going to give you those. But variance formula, sample formula, for standard deviation, all that stuff's on there for Tuesday. So you'll get that on Tuesday also for your test. When you go through the review today, try and only use that as much as possible, because that's what you get for Tuesday. So kind of practice using that. Know where stuff is on there. Z-score formula's on there, Z-statistic, anything that you would need formula-wise for your test is on there. Your review is under the unit test. Once you get into Edgenuity, it's a 15-question review, and it's from a bank of questions. So you can collaborate and work together, but you might not get the same question like usual. Here's how your test is set up. There's a bank of 28 questions, and there's 7 sections for the unit. So there's 4 questions in the bank from representing data, there's 4 questions from standard deviation, there's 4 questions from properties of probability, so on and so forth. I think it's a 15 or 20 question test from the bank of 28. So you might get 4 representing data questions, you might get 4 application questions. It's just random. I don't know what you're going to get, but the bank is made up of questions from each section, just so you kind of how you know how it's set up. Your review is similar to your test. You know how I feel about reviews in here and how important they are. So work through that today. Some of the questions are I'm not going to say difficult, but make you think a little bit. But some of them are very doable and are just normal distribution questions, Z-score questions, standard deviation questions. So there's a little bit of both, just like the test first semester that I gave you. There are some, what I like to call beauty questions that I hope you guys can get, and there are some that are a little more difficult that make you think a little bit. The review is a great intro to the test. If you do well on the review, you should do well on the test. So I'm going to let you guys work on the review today. I don't want you doing statistical inferences or hypothesis testing assignments. Tomorrow we'll do those like normal on Friday work days if you need to get caught up there. I want all of you in the unit test review today, and try to get through that. Read questions carefully, make sure you know what they're asking you for, use your formula sheet, work together on it like you normally would on assignments. I put whiteboards on tables if you want to use those. I gave you scratch paper. I highly encourage you to use scratch paper for formulas and stuff. It's a lot easier rather than just trying to type in numbers into your calculator. It gets lost without scratch paper or whiteboards or whatever. So scratch paper is there for you to use also. I'll be around to help you. If you're stuck on a question and are waiting for me, go on to the next question until I get to you guys, okay? Talk to your group first. If you still don't get it, then come up and raise your hand and I'll be around to assist if you need help. All right, markers are up here. You want whiteboards? Again, unit test in stats and prob, and then unit test review.
This is the grades of the science test are normally distributed, huh? Is it?
There was the calculator in here.
No.
Yeah.
Oh, the grades of the science test are normally distributed and science
No, it's opposite, skewed right, but more importantly, if you're thinking mean median, all right, if you line up all of these values, your median is gonna be farther left because it's, right, you have a high number of cities at 20, over here at 5, 9, 10 to 14 number of days. So if you think you wrote all those out in a line, your median is gonna be towards the beginning because you have high data over here. But because of your high numbers over here, your mean is gonna be bigger than the median. Right. If it's skewed left, your mean is gonna be somewhere over here, but your mean is gonna be more in the middle because the low numbers will average it out. So I just kind of think opposite. Kind of think opposite when you're thinking skewed, and then if you have high data in the front, your median's in the front, mean's in the middle, and then vice versa for the opposite.
Would you like some questions?
No, I'm good. What the?
I did. But I didn't say.
All right, let's go.
That's not okay.
You need a new marker? Did your marker in?
No, it's all good.
It's alive?
Everything's good.
Are you alive? That's more important.
Not really, no.
Why don't you offer me some?
Because I don't want to give you any. Oh. Oh, yeah. Hitting zero. How do you? Whatever you say. She's like, okay.
Okay, what are they asking you? Okay, so the key in there is at least one day. So here's the probabilities of each day. Right? The probability of getting a newspaper 0 days is roughly what? Okay, so you want probability of at least one day. At least, not one day. If the question was just one day, what's the probability of just getting a paper one day? Right, so you want at least one day. So what do you have to do with the probability of 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, 4 days, 5 days, 6 days, and 7 days?
You're gonna start saying zero and go this way. So it would be skewed.
Add, right? Because it could be at least 1 day is the same as saying 1 day or 2 days or 3 days or 4 days or 5 days or 6 days or 7 days. So if you're trying to find probability of receiving a newspaper at least 1 day, you have to add up all of them. No, you just add them all together. You don't even just average, right?
There's no more.
Zero. Do you still need help?
Okay, simple random sample size, Johnson Nolan insurance calculation, mean is X bar 170. What is the 90% outpercent molecular population mean? Okay, so all this is saying is,
How do I do
what is the 90% confidence interval? Right, it would be it's your margin of error formula, right? And what's the z-score that corresponds with the 90% confidence level? Right, 1.645 times standard deviation divided by 30%.
Why are you wasting my word? I just wanted to help explain.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how to get this at all.
I already told you it's easy.
First you have to find out the probability distribution, and then you give it.
Okay, what do you think of using Edgenuity in the classroom?
I think it's more organized because it tells you the unit, it leaves your assignments there, so if you need to go back, and you can do it from anywhere, so it's like more beneficial, I guess, for all of us.
Do you find it harder?
No, it just challenges us more, like the questions, so it's not like the easiest. Like when we have to type out the answers, it's more like thinking, so it's better for us, I guess.
Okay.
So add them up and subtract them by one.
Yeah. Yes. Why do we have to do that? What's the key word in there? Right, at least one day. So if the question was, what's the probability of getting a newspaper one day? That would be the 16%. But at least one day, that could be 1 day or 2 days or 3 days or 4 days or 5 days or 6 days or 7 days. So you have to add the probabilities of 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, 4 days, 5 days, 6 days, 7 days. Or you gotta include, yeah, but it's at least one, so that could be, it's not more than one. If it was, at least one means one and more. So you gotta include the probability of 1 day also.
I need your help. 'Cause, I asked.
Yeah. First it's asking you if it's skewed left or right, and then it's asking you is the median or the mean going to be greater? Well, if you think about this, remember median is the middle valley. So if you wind all those pieces of data up, because you have 29 cities that average 5 to 9 days above 90 degrees, and 33 days that average 90
How am I supposed to do
degrees
this when I
above
It's supposed to
Fahrenheit.
be
Your median is going
0.74
to
out of
be
100.
toward the
Or
front,
is it supposed to, or is it just
while
a
your
70?
mean is going to be more in the middle. So the mean is going to be greater than the median, and it's skewed to the right. For data interval. Right, so it's skewed right, and the mean's going to be in the middle.
What do you guys? How do you guys feel about the way Edgenuity is being used in the classroom?
I actually like how it works because like it gives the student feedback on like how they do, and it gives you a second chance to understand the question better and answer it correctly the second time as if you answered it incorrectly the first time.
Anybody else want to answer? How they feel about it? Have you accessed it from home to do work so that you get caught up? You have? Okay.
Yeah, I have to.
You have to? Okay.
I tried, but it didn't work.
Did you log on to the wrong website? Okay. That's the biggest thing, because it should always work. As long as you go to the TUHSD. I'm also making an advertisement here. TUHSD.learn.edgenuity.com. You'll always get in, because Edgenuity doesn't even know your passwords, your login and passwords. They don't even know. They don't even care. We control it here at Towson. That's why you have to put in TUHSD first. If you don't put that TUHSD first, Edgenuity doesn't know you. So that's why. Okay? So are you using this in, like, is anyone doing credit retrieval or doing any other type of class where you're using Edgenuity yet?
No, just this class. I'm just using it in this class.
ACT?
Sometimes for AP language.
Yeah, okay, so you got Miss McBride. Anything else you'd like to say about Edgenuity? No? It's harder, but it's challenging you, right?
We're getting used to it, yeah.
Good, good. And did you notice the drop in, like, issues in the class? Like people causing trouble or anything?
I feel like people pay more attention with the computers. Yeah.
I've hardly seen anyone using their cell phones at all.
Yeah. I feel like he's really good at explaining.
Really?
Yeah.
Good. And he has time to explain even better, right?
Yeah.
To answer
And
questions.
he has more time to answer questions.
Yeah? Cool. All right. You guys.
So, to the left of negative 0.3 is 38%. Right, you're gonna subtract out the white non-candidates, which is roughly 5%. So the biggest thing there is to convert your data points to Z-scores and then use your table to find probability. Brian, you're up. That one? Okay, so you're gonna have to convert your data points to Z-score values. And then use your table to find area under the curve. Okay, so you have, well, that one and this one. So once you get Z-score values for 0.37 using Z-score formula.
Okay.
Once you get values, Z-score values, find those Z-score values on the curve, and then look, it wants the proportion of registrable errors between those two values. So once you find your Z-score values,
For the graph one, did you use it? Yeah, the one.
let's say here's one of your Z-scores, here's another one of your Z-scores.
So what do you think about using Edgenuity in this classroom, now it's being used?
It's easier, and I like how it, like on assignments, it gives instant feedback.
Okay. Anything else that makes it easier for you, or is it, do you find it more challenging?
No, because if like you need help, you can go to the instructional videos, and it breaks it down in depth on how to solve equations and stuff.
Okay. Have you used the online, have you accessed the program from home?
No.
No? Okay. Anything else you want to say about the program? Okay, very good. So what do you think about the use of Edgenuity in this classroom? Has it helped you guys out? Has it, what kind of feedback can you give me?
Well, I feel like it's helped me a lot because, like, it gives you challenging questions, and it's like you have to get obviously 2 tries, and like.
I like the 2 tries.
Yeah, I like
retry.
I like that too. And then
for the last 40 receipts is $67.
I like how Huygens also takes time to like explain in his way, because that really helps me a lot.
Average higher or lower
and then
than the
Do you think he has more time to explain because you guys are working in Edgenuity?
Like
Yeah.
if he finds something confusing, or if we find something confusing, like that's when he can like actually like try and see how and explain.
new
Yeah, in his way.
sample is lower than the early sample.
I know.
Get more done?
Using Edgenuity.
Yeah.
It looks a little confusing when you first open it.
Yeah.
Like the course map, like how you
Yeah.
click all that, it's kind of confusing.
No?
I like how when you're like first, like in the introduction, like it tells you like what you're gonna be going through.
Yeah.
I like how he like in the video it explains
Mm-hmm.
what they're gonna tell you and what you're gonna have to do. You know, like, I like that.
Have you accessed it from home yet?
Yeah, I have.
Okay. So Well, of course, it's hard to tell, but do you think your scores are going up? Or are you about the same as last semester?
I've been getting better grades. I came from a different school in a different state and didn't use it. My grades were kind of bad, but this like helps make
Really?
it more clear.
Where'd you come from?
Okay, if you go up another standard deviation, what data point are you at? 30. 35. No, 36.2. I just add 3.6, right? Okay, now for Z37, that means the data point 37 falls between falls where?
Right, so it's
36.
Right, so, but how many you're at 2 standard deviations here, right? So 37 is coming up, so it's gonna be between, it's gonna be between 2 and 3 standard deviations. So that Z37 just means 37 is the data point, 37 is over here somewhere. That's gonna be between 2 and 3 standard deviations, each standard deviation is 3.
So, what do you guys think of the use of Edgenuity in Mr. Hayden's classroom? You know, what feedback can you give me on it?
6, 2, 2, and 2.
Personally, I feel like it is an interesting use of integration for technology in the classroom, but I feel like it kind of lacks the whole teacher-student connection, because I mean, we're all doing our own separate thing. We're not all focused on the same thing on the board, and it's like, if I'm stuck on something, I get teacher from over here, yeah, but it seems Edgenuity is like, all right, you've learned it, now you move on to the next thing. What if sometimes, and it happens to me a lot because I'm not exactly a quick learner, like I don't get something and we're just kind of forced to move on to the next thing. I don't get to spend more time on it. Teacher can't really explain it a bit more thoroughly because they're not doing that.
Do you ask him to try to explain things? Like, I mean, right now he has like free time. Do you ask him and try to track him down?
Well, yeah, of course, but
Okay.
I feel like it just kind of lacks that. I mean,
Okay, so you don't get as much you don't get as much interaction with the teacher.
no, I don't. Like I said, I'm a slow learner, and with this, it's like you learn what you need to learn. You don't get to go over it really twice usually, and you move on to the next thing. It seems, and that's kind of a hazard for me because if I don't get something, well, then I don't get it because I don't get to go over a second time usually because we're on to the next subject already.
Okay. Any comments that you want to make about Edgenuity?
No, I just agreeing with him because some people don't understand it that well and need more support to go over it.
Okay. Do either of you access it from home at all?
Yes, I can access it from home, and I usually don't because I usually don't need to use it there. But if I need to, I can, which is a very useful part of it.
Okay, so probability distribution.
But
So you're doing probability distribution.
well, in that sense, I can completely understand it. You know, I mean, having technology would be a lot simpler than a textbook, given it would save, you know, obviously paper and space. But in that sense, I can completely understand it. Having technology is a lot more broader in the spectrum. You get more information and it's there a lot quicker and more available. But I still feel like it could be kind of intruding on the teacher-student relationship, which would kind of impede the learning.
And whose responsibility is to make sure that relationship's still there?
I don't know. I think it kind of relies on everyone to make sure they're all doing their own part.
Well,
Okay.
compare the two averages.
Any comments?
Your sample greater than.
Okay.
That's all that's saying. And the reason why it's not these two, this is not equal to, but not equal to could be higher than 72. Not equal means just it can't be 72. So it has to be less than 72 because her sample average is definitely less than 72. All right, guys. Where are we? So the textbook company, is the population. They're saying, they're claiming it takes a quiz.
What is the X?
The average for 30 minutes to take a quiz from the book. right? So the teacher uses the book, is not sure, and she does a sample of 10 students and finds the average to be 25 minutes. Well, is her sample average greater than or less than the company's claim? Right, so her students on average do not take 30 minutes on the quiz, which is correct. And it's contrary to what the textbook company states, because what does the textbook company state? It takes 30 minutes, right? Just a lot of wording for, but yeah, that's right. Your conclusion is valid. The other three really don't make a ton of sense in there. Are you doing Sammy? Sorry, girl. It'll pick up, I promise. Okay, so. Right. And.
What is it? What is N?
N or M?
N is the number of data, or the number that was sampled.
Oh.
So Kavita has been studying, or the average customer sheet for a brand at a major restaurant. So the population is all the major restaurants. The average receipt is $72. So out of all these restaurants, the average receipt is $72 for the population. The population is all the restaurants. Okay, the brand she is studying, so she's doing a separate study, which would be a sample of 40 receipts, and that average is $67. Okay, first thing, what do you notice? Is her sample average less than or greater than the population average? It's less than. Okay, so now that's really all you need to know. The question says, what choice depicts the result for her test? Well, her test was, she did an individual test of 40 receipts. She found that the average is $5 lower than what the average for the population is. So she can reject the population average of 72 and accept the sample average because her sample average was less than 72. That's all that's saying. And the difference between this and these two, these are saying the same thing, but when it says not equal 72, right, and it's definitely less than 72 because it was 67. So you can't just say it's not equal to 72, because not equal to 72, it could be 73, 74, 75, 76. And she can reject it because it's not equal to 72. The only way she can accept it is if her sample average was she can accept the hypothesis if it was equal to 72, but she's rejecting it because it's less than 72.
So, what do you think about using Edgenuity in this classroom?
I think it's very helpful because even if we miss a day of school, we can still do the work at home and stay on track with the rest of the class.
So, what do you think about using Edgenuity in the classroom, in this classroom?
I think that it can be really difficult at times because you can't really ask the computer for help. But when a teacher's with you, then you can ask the teacher. But I don't think that it's as helpful as it would be as to learn from a teacher. But it does help you understand some of the things that a teacher wouldn't help you understand, like the videos. They go really into detail. But just the only thing that throws me off is how you can't, like, if you don't understand something, you can't really ask it. So, yeah.
What do you, whoops, wait, let me get going. Okay, so what do you think about using Edgenuity in this classroom?
I like how it gives you feedback right away of like your scores and if you got it wrong or not, but it doesn't really tell you why you got something wrong, and it doesn't give you feedback at all, so you don't really know why it's wrong. And then sometimes it doesn't tell you what to round the number to, so you get it wrong strictly because you didn't know what to round the number to.
Okay. Has it helped you, do you think? Or is it just the same as if the teacher was just teaching you and you were working out of a textbook? textbook?
I think it's better when the teacher teaches you because you get more hands-on experience than just typing at a computer.
But Mr. Heitens does teach you still, right? I mean, he's still he's not. You're not relying just on the program, right?
No, we're not relying just on the program.
Okay, good. Okay, good answer.